community is elated, happy, joyful, ready to get involved.
This victory means that people power works.
Huntington Bank responded to the community, not just to political people, but to the community.
1,300 people signed a petition saying, reopen the bank. Don't take something out of our community. You've been here for 20 years. You are a part of the community.
I think most people thought this was going to be an uphill battle, but the likelihood of us succeeding was extremely rare, and we defied the odds tremendously.
Thanks to all the dedicated work of all of our residents, our legislators, our business owners, the stakeholders, the foundations, everybody here lent a helping hand. We were able to retain Huntington Bank, and we're thankful to say that that bank is staying open.
Well, I first heard about it at a network night, about the bank closing and everything, and how everybody was rallying together to make sure that it doesn't happen and the bank doesn't go anywhere.
The connections that are made here are meaningful. I think a lot of times people see community meetings and they underestimate the power behind what can be done in a community meeting.
The Action Clinic came together, we was able to devise a plan. Obviously, the petitioning and you know, beating the streets with our feet was a big part of it as well.
I think it's up to that same group, which started with Neighborhood Connection, Neighbor Night, then the Action Group, that whole process. That's something that we need to stick with in terms of bringing the larger community together for other such projects as this. This is just the beginning.
It's all organic, it's all real, you know, it's a huge, momentous victory. But yeah, it definitely all started right here at Neighborhood Network Night.
These meetings don't seem like they have a lot of weight or a lot of power because it's just people getting together, socializing, talking about topics, eating food. But in reality, the small gains that happen snowball into bigger things, just like the Huntington Bank and being able to sustain that in our neighborhood.
I really think that the rainy, snowy days when a group of volunteers, we were different people on different days, were out here in this parking lot talking to people coming up to the bank, to the ATM, or going in the door saying, "Did you hear this bank is closing?" And people were as shocked as I was when I first got the letter. So I think the outreach right here, right at 116th and Buckeye, I don't think we called it outreach. I think we called it, let's go talk to people.
So I see you guys got it done. Oh, I need one of these, man. You need one of these.
No.
So I appreciate it.
We got it done. Everybody played a significant role in it.
A staple like this is needed in the community.
Yeah.
And just opening up is not enough.
Yeah.
They need to commit to the community.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the manager of the bank. I'm talking about corporate. I'm talking about putting money in the community, giving money, giving loans. Loans and diversity plays a big role. Yeah. When you issue loans, small business loans, home mortgage loans, whatever type of loans the community needs, is a big deal for the community because it's just going to raise the community.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're back.
It definitely affirms my rootedness. I ain't about to run and go nowhere, but with Huntington staying, that says that my commitment is even more promising because it says that my financial assets here are not going to start to go down because they would if Huntington left. If it left, the value of my house would be affected. The value of this surrounding community would be affected because it is the go-to financial institution. And I feel more committed because my commitment and my promise and my outcomes are now a little bit more sure.
People are completely going to look at Buckeye in a different light than they have historically or over the last 30, 40 years. So I think the future is very positive and be constructive, but we got to be at the table and we got to be front and center. This was a short-term goal. Now we got to figure out what do we want to do over the next 3, 5, 10 years? How do we want to transform Buckeye? So I think we got to go back to the drawing board and flesh that out.
This is a neighborhood that's up and coming, and we on the rise, and we're gonna keep rising up and like standing up and fighting. Like I always say, like I'm very just proud to be a part of a community. It got so many activists, advocates, organizers, urban planners that we doing stuff here, and that's why it makes us the best neighborhood in Cleveland to me.
I think the most important thing I learned personally is that I was right about the Buckeye neighborhood, right about the fact that people here really do care and are willing to fight for it if we can find ways that we can speak together and fight. And that's what happened here.
And it's an important characteristic of the Buckeye neighborhood that in spite of our poverty and the other so-called negatives, there is a sense of communication and connectedness here that's uniquely Buckeye.
One of the quotes that come to mind that epitomizes this process was the one by Fannie Lou Hamer, the civil rights icon from Mississippi. You can pray until you faint, but if you don't get up and try to do something, God ain't gonna put it in your lap. So not only did we pray, we got up and did something about it.